Do you have one of these vans and perhaps the battery on it keeps going flat? If you do, I'm going to show you a really simple way to overcome this by installing a battery isolator switch. Just come around to this side. So at the moment, the battery isolator switch is on, meaning that it doesn't matter how often I press the key, it's not going to open. So when the battery isolator switch is cutting the battery, I have to open the passenger door, sorry, the driver door rather, using the key, and I can come inside. Inside, you can see I've got the isolator switch just here. So if I switch that round, I can then press the lock and unlock button on the dash, or I can use the key. I'm not sure whether you can hear that, to unlock the rest of the van. But to be honest, it's just as easy to use that and that to open it. I can then come in, turn the key on, and you can see all the dashboard lights up. But if I reach over here now and I turn this isolator switch off, you can see the dash goes completely dead. So turn the isolator switch back on, and then I can start the van as normal. Okay, so I know, by the way, as well, that I've got my glow plug switch on. I need to do a service. Anyway, coming around, I'm going to show you how I installed this and what I did for it. It's dead simple to do, especially on these vans, because the battery is located just under the floor just here. So I'm now around the passenger side of the van, and I've removed the floor covering and the battery box cover. You can see here what I've done is I've actually had to change the terminal connector, because the old one, with having taken the battery out so many times to recharge it when it went flat, was actually a bit knackered. So I just bought a brand new one, and you can see here what I've got is a little terminal connector which looks like that. I needed 1, 2, 3, 4 of those in total, so I managed to get a pack of 5, so I've got one spare, so I can show you how to put the cable on these as well. But simply all you do is you run the cable like that up from the battery up to the switch, and you can see the hole in the floor there where it comes through. I just used a small Dremel for that, and it runs up under the carpet. You can still see that up behind the dashboard here, and I actually mount the switch here. Now before I mount the switch, there was like a coat hook type thing. For left-hand drive vehicles, what you'll actually see on this side is the cigarette lighter socket. So I imagine, you know, if the left-hand drive, you'll have one of those, and on the opposite side you'll have a coat hook, which is like the blanking plug. So it's dead easy to pull the blanking plug out the way and just pop that in, and the cables run just behind here and then down underneath the carpet, as you can see, and then to the battery. And it's just really simple. That's the original battery earth cable, negative cable, and so you just run some of this heavy duty cable to the switch and back. It doesn't matter which way around these are, because as long as the switch is deactivated, it doesn't matter, it just kills the circuit anyway. But you've got total peace of mind having that switch in, that your battery's not going to run flat if the van's sitting for a while, which is what this one was doing. You may wonder why I didn't just fix the parasitic drain, as they call it. Well, to be honest, this van's got approaching to 170,000 miles, and I think it's on about 166, something like that. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to be, you know, keeping it for. And it just really wasn't worth the hassle. So dead easy, dead nice. Just a switch on eBay, a couple of bolt holes there which I had to drill in, and it's just take the key out if you want, or I just leave it in. So that's the battery isolated, so nothing's going to be draining. Turn it around, and that's it activated. The only slightly annoying thing is obviously every time you disconnect the battery you lose your radio. So I've actually written the code up here, but to be honest I don't really bother. I just listen through a Bluetooth speaker on my phone most of the time, so it's super easy. I'll show you quickly, this is some off-cutter cable. I'll show you really quickly how to mount one of these onto there, because it's dead easy. Just before I go and show you how to mount that cable, one other thing: when you make your connections, cover them generously in black insulation tape, just to make sure you're getting absolutely no shorts. Obviously as the van's driving along, that could bounce, and if it touches that, then you could have some problems. But just make sure it's well insulated, your connections that you make there. Okay, so first things first, what you want to do is just take off enough of the insulation so you can get that on nice and cozy. So I'm looking at that there, that, make a mark all the way around it, like so. Knife needs sharpening. Okay, so now we've got that. Twist the strands together, and then we've got that we can put on. You can see it's just the correct length there. So put that on there, and then the best thing to do is to clamp it in a vise to make the start off. Just move the camera up. So all I'm going to do is just wind the vise out a touch, pop it in, and then jumped out a bit. Need a third hand really, and then just go clamp it in like that. Okay, nice. And you can see now that's squished down there. And then just to make sure that it definitely doesn't move, the other thing you can do is to take a a punch rather, get my terminology correct, and just we're going to punch 2 holes in there just to make sure that's definitely not going to come off. Like so. So just going to punch 2 holes in. Oops. Try that one again. And then turn it over. Do the same on this side. And then same here. Sorry about that there, a bit of an interruption. So what I've done is I've punched the plug as well after crimping it using the vise. Just a couple of holes either side. You can see that I've indented and on both sides, but what you can see is a little bit of exposed cabling. So just to finish the job off, take some insulation tape. I'm just going to all tape this so it'll split into a few different bits, but never mind. Well, maybe replace the word old with cheap. But here we go. And all I like to do is just give a good few wraps all the way around, quite far up. And just, there we go. Until what you've got then is a nice connector. So you'll need 2 lengths of cable with these connectors at either end for your switch. If you've got any questions, put them down below and I'll try my best to answer them. I'm not an auto electrician or a mechanic or anything like that by trade, but this for me was just a really simple, easy to solve problem. I'll put links below to all of the bits that I've used, including this cable and the switch and these eyelets, which all came from eBay. And yeah, any questions, I'll give my best shot at answering. Cheers.